northern Nevada is still feeling the effects of last month's flooding. Now the governor is taking further steps to make sure Nevadans are taken care of. More details straight ahead. Plus, the Sierra Safari Zoo needed help and local residents stepped up to the plate. How the animals there are now getting the exercise they need straight ahead. Plus,
it would be the biggest political scandal since Watergate.
Just days after his strong speech to Congress, President Trump is creating more controversy in the White House, but this time he's going after his predecessor. We'll show you how next.
You're watching News 4 at 5 on your side.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Olivia DeGennaro. Governor Brian Sandoval is asking President Trump for an extended disaster declaration to help flood-damaged areas in Washoe County. Governor Sandoval says Lemon Valley residents were hit hard by the floods after seeing the area on Friday. He says his heart is broken for northern Nevadans still dealing with last month's flooding. And as we're seeing here, one of the areas that's seen the most damage, of course, Lemon Valley. Now residents are invited to a meeting happening on Monday. Washoe County and state officials plan to offer both immediate and long-term solutions for people affected by flooding there. The meeting is happening at Lemon Valley Elementary School at 6 o'clock on Monday night. And speaking of flooding, about 30 volunteers turned out to the Sierra Safari Zoo in North Reno today to help make repairs after some of the animal enclosures were damaged during recent flooding. Some animals have been unable to get proper exercise and have been confined to their cages for the past month. The Sierra Safari Zoo has only been able to be open to the public one weekend all year due to winter weather. Local Girl Scouts attended the event to make some of the animals' toys and also provide some snacks, hopefully some Girl Scout cookies, as well as lunch to the volunteers. Now, if everything goes according to plan at the volunteer event there today, the zoo hopes to reopen as early as tomorrow. After a nearly 2-month closure due to extensive flood damage, State Route 446 has officially reopened. NDOT officials tell us crews are still finishing repair work to the roadside shoulders, but they say the entire length of 446 is now reopened to all drivers. Crews say the repairs, which included filling flood-related erosion, replacing drainage pipes, and repaving the roadway, all cost about $4 million. And coming up later tonight on News 4 at 11, the state's Railroad Museum is now back open after being closed because of recent flooding. The museum has been closed since January 8th after that first major flood event we saw. We'll have more about the reopening of the historic site coming up tonight on News 4 at 11. And it's been a pretty sunny day, at least in the Reno area, but we still have some changes coming in the next couple hours. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Colin Jackson for a first look at your Weather Authority forecast. Colin?
The 7-day forecast will show that to you next.
Thank you, Colin. Well, an active search still underway for one of the suspects involved in Thursday night's deadly officer-involved shooting. The shooting happened when a Reno police officer attempted to make a traffic stop in the area of Kitsky and Peckham Lanes. The outstanding suspect has been identified as 17-year-old Eric Bernal. He also goes by the nickname Smokey. Bernal is described as a Hispanic teen, about 5 feet 8 inches tall and 135 pounds with shaved hair. Now, during the traffic stop on Thursday night at about 9:45 p.m., someone inside the vehicle fired shots as the officer was approaching. The two people inside the car tried to flee the scene, and that's when the officer and the suspects exchanged gunfire. The officer was wounded, but he is recovering and is expected to be okay. One of the suspects, however, did die from his injuries. The other suspect, now identified as Eric Bernal, who you just saw there, got away, and an hours-long manhunt ensued, but police were not able to find the teen. Officials believe both of the suspects were involved in a local gang, and they say Bernal could be anywhere at this point. Now, it's still not clear why the police officer attempted to stop the vehicle in the first place, and officials are not yet releasing the identity of the suspect who died. The Washoe County Sheriff's Office is investigating as well now, which is protocol for officer-involved shootings. Well, more than 100 people rallied in downtown Reno to exercise their right to free speech this morning. News 4's Diane Tao joins us in the studio with more on the demonstration. Diane.
This was just one of several March for Trump rallies that did occur across the country. Olivia?
Thank you, Diane. Well, as she mentioned, similar demonstrations nationwide today as Trump supporters gathered for March for Trump rallies. One event held in New York City where hundreds took to the streets in support of the president. Other rallies took place in major cities around the country, and at one demonstration in Washington, D.C., attendees were greeted by counter-protesters. Well, the president claims his predecessor, President Obama, conducted surveillance at the Trump Tower during the presidential election. Andrew Spencer has the latest on the Trump tweets that are causing a stir.
And calling Obama a bad or sick guy. I'm Andrew Spencer reporting.
And China's ambassador to the United States says China is open to cooperation with the U.S. no matter who the president is. The ambassador says cooperation is the only right option for the two countries to iron out the hot issues between them. He was responding to concerns about the future of the U.S.-China relationship under the Trump administration. Still to come on News 4 at 5, Nevada men's basketball team is taking on Colorado State for the Mountain West regular season championship as we speak. An update on that game next in sports. Welcome back, everyone. Northern Nevadans donned their greenest garments for this year's Shamrock Run this morning. Take a look.
3, 2, 1.
As you can tell, it was a bit windy for the run this morning. The 5K took over the Victorian Avenue area in Sparks through 1 o'clock this afternoon. And it doesn't seem like St. Patrick's Day is that soon. I don't even know when it is.
It's coming up, a couple of Fridays, yeah.
And also coming up, we have snow moving into the region, yes?
Yes, and we have a time change. There are a lot of things going on in the month of March. And it could be a miracle March because some of the long-range computer models give us another storm next weekend and one after that. So we're far from over. If you don't like it, there's not much you can do. If you love it, get out there and enjoy it because the powder is going to be good each and every weekend for quite a while.
We need it. We need it, right?
Yeah, we do need it.
Thank you, Brenna. Well, straight ahead, it's the ice race that pushes athletes to their limits. How long do mushers and their dogs race in the Iditarod Run? Find out right after the break.
Ahead for us tonight, President Trump accuses his predecessor of wiretapping Trump Tower during the campaign, a claim denied by an Obama official. The change is underway at airport security checkpoints in this country and a rare look inside a ballistics crime lab where they're trying to solve hundreds of murders. When I see you tonight on NBC Nightly News.
And before we go tonight at 5, the sound of howling dogs filled downtown Anchorage today as mushers from around the world gathered for the ceremonial start of the Iditarod Trail Sled Dog Race. About 2,000 dogs belonging to 72 mushers left the downtown area every 2 minutes in a staggering start for an 11-mile course on city trails and streets. The ceremonial start is a fan-friendly event designed to show off mushing and allow spectators to pet the dogs. The official race, though, spans about 1,000 miles through the Alaska wilderness, stretching along the frozen Bering Sea coast. Now, you're from Canada,
right?
Obviously not Alaska, but
same weather patterns.
Yes, yes. Have you ever seen one of these races?
I've seen them and they're fantastic. The
Yeah.
dogs are so strong and they're huge in person. You have no appreciation for how big they are until you see them in person.
I mean, those are the true athletes.
Yes, they do the running and all the work, but they love it though. So we have weather coming this way. We should see a few inches of snow on the ground tomorrow morning.
All right, thanks so much for joining us at 5. We'll see you right back here at 11.